people. Welcome to the Miss Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best. Let's welcome in our co-host, James, from the Watch Your Mouth Reviews channel. Link in
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me. Welcome to Mrs. Best channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Show my girl some love.
Please do, please do. And again, the link to James's channel is in the description of this video, as well as the links to Shana _MCD's channel. She has two of them. She also covers this show, and at the end of the season, we will all be getting together to discuss it because there's going to be a lot to talk about after this season, y'all. Like a lot to talk about. But let's get into it. This episode was titled Sex, Lies, and Everything on Tape. I need to put the episode number in there because I believe this is season 2, episode 7. So my apologies, but it is on the thumbnail. But this episode starts, we get to see Clay and Tati recovering from the intimacy suite. Obviously, it was intimate. Things went well for them. And it's still cringeworthy that they were even in the intimacy suite because he knew that he was keeping a secret from her. He knew. And I'm like, now why? Why, sir? Why do you have to? It's one thing you have, the way I look at Clay right now, y'all, so I don't just talk forever. He has no problem doing the action that requires the secret to be kept while with her, but is a straight bitch when it comes to telling the truth about the secret. If it was something smaller, like I cheated, I don't want her to know, fine. But you made a person. There is a human on the planet with a new social security number, thanks to you, sir. That's not a secret you keep. That's a secret you release and just deal with, in my opinion. I mean, I think it's several people's opinions, honestly. But Cinco and Jay are talking, and Cinco and Jay, I'm going to just tell y'all right now, I think they'll do okay outside of the show. I really do, if they are a real couple, because half of these people I don't buy no more. But they remind me of me and my husband. We just watching the other couples with they fucked up shit. They got their little problems too, but nothing that would ruin a relationship or be dysfunctional because they always just watching and talking. And this is where we learned that Clay got drunk a previous evening before and mentioned that his best friend, who we're going to see in this episode, is a female. Nobody knew that. Then he explained that she's also a porn star, but he claimed they never slept together. If I have, right, me and James have a mutual friend that was into stripping, right? And she also did some other things that James may not know about, but he do now. Stripping, escorting on the websites, walking the track. She did a lot. She was all over the place, right? But I didn't lead like, hey, this is so-and-so. And she does this just because she was in the sex worker industry. Like, that's weird to lead with. I feel like the only reason he mentioned her being a porn star, and I believe it was my husband who said this when we was watching this, he was like, that nigga hit it. He probably did. He probably did, because that's just rare. But a lot of red flags. We then also learned that his friend is his child's godmother, which baffled me. But before we get into the visit with the friend, how did you feel about Cinco and Jay's conversation?
It kind of made me feel like I'm gonna retract my statement of thinking these two will be an end game.
Why do you think that?
Because I feel like even though they have a lot of chemistry, both physical and intellectual, I feel like they're not really good at being truthful when it comes to their day-to-day. And sometimes that could play a huge factor in where your relationship stands. And I feel like they're missing that mark. As much as I thought they were in tune with each other, which I still feel that way, and as much as the chemistry is still there, I just think in their day-to-day, there is a lot that has not been spoken about or at least uncovered, which they need to get a handle on if they do plan to be together.
You know, I would agree, but I also feel like they're not getting the camera time they need. I think production, and OWN has a bad habit of doing this with all their shows. They see one piece of drama, one little blow up, and they will take the camera off of people and put it onto the people who are in the drama and the blow up. Or they'll focus so hard on editing that in that they'll forget to edit stuff out. And this season just didn't seem well put together. So I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. However, I do think they're the couple that can have a relationship outside of the show, but that doesn't mean that that relationship will last. And if they haven't been having those conversations James talked about, he's absolutely right. It's not going to last in the long term, because if we look at it based on what we've saw and if what we've been watching on the show is fact, then we know that they spend more time talking about other couples instead of getting to know and talking to each other about each other. So, you know, for those who maybe look confused, but I do agree with that. But it's hard to tell with a show, but I agree thoroughly. Now, Quavasia's little raggedy friend comes and, well, she wasn't raggedy. Her conduct was, she comes in, she sees Clay, she's excited to see him, she jumps up onto him. And I'm like, okay, I get that you're excited to see a friend. Now, I just saw James for the first time in about a smooth 5 or 6 years over the weekend. That's my male friend. I hugged him. It was a good, tight, long hug. But I didn't jump on his ass. He could have helped me, but I didn't do it. And if I did jump onto him, I for damn sure wouldn't have wrapped my legs around his body.
No, because we would have been on the ground. On the ground. Because I ain't gonna play with you like that. So no, we would have been on the concrete. Both our husbands pulled us up like, what the hell happened to y'all?
Listen, but the thing of it is, like, even with my closest male friends, like I was talking to my husband, because I've always just connected better with men in terms of like friendships. I've never like done that to them. I hug them. There's physical affection, but not to like the extent that Clay's little friend was.
No, that was too much.
It was too much. She would not, it wasn't just that she jumped on him out of excitement. She would not stop hugging him. And then Tati comes in after hearing the excitement of the two, you know, seeing each other. And you would think that he would be like, so this is the girl I've been telling you about. This who I've been talking to. This who I fell in love with. He was just like, oh yeah, this Tati.
This Tati. I was like, oh.
But what made it worse, and at first I was like, okay, I saw the group looking at how she jumped on them and they were like, And I wonder if a friend like that guy, when we recapped Queen's Court,
oh,
the friend
yes,
that was like, she'll cook you some cornbread and make the cornmeal herself.
Yeah.
If it was someone that looked like that, I don't feel like the group would have had such an adverse reaction. But because it was an attractive woman who they also now know is in the porn industry, they did look at him a little crazy. So I'll get to that in a moment. I did feel like the group kind of heightened the reaction, but the way that girl slided Tatiana, like, y'all best friends, and he tells you of this girl. So when you hear, oh, this Tati, like, even though he may not be the most excited, and especially you knowing that he's keeping a secret from her, and you're just like, she just shook her head at her. She nodded. She didn't even extend a hand. There was no hug. I said, bitch, I did not say I jumped on James, fool. I said I would not. Look, my husband said, let me make it very clear. I did not jump onto James. I'm saying I would not have. That's what you get for eavesdropping. Go do some homework or something. He's in a whole other room. Oh, Lord.
Lord Jesus. Didn't nobody, oh, good Lord.
No, but nobody, I'm glad he's here, because nobody would do that. If you are in a relationship with someone else, you shouldn't be, don't be jumping on women. Women,
no,
don't be jumping on me.
It was like a very big, like, almost like we was cousins hugging. Right, exactly. It was just like that.
Craziness. I could not. But no, she's crazy for doing that. She's really crazy for doing that. And to then do that and to not acknowledge the girl when you get the opportunity to meet her, that's what pissed me off watching the damn show. That pissed me off. So the group is talking about how the friend did too much. And of course, it gets back to Tatiana after she had already met the friend, though. So Tatiana immediately, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, please don't do this, Tati. Please don't do this, Tati. He already been lying about eating meat. Just let him go. Because if you lie about eating a piece of chicken, what else will you lie about? You know what I mean? So she storms out there with her wine and she's pretty pissed off because I think Tati has also had a feeling that there was more that was shady. And she basically runs out there after threatening to throw her drink on the girl. And she's like, she ran and jumped on you. And I think she felt that she was slighted also with the introduction because with other people, the rest of the group, he's like, oh, yeah, this Tati. But with everybody else, so this is this person, this Senko, this. I'm like, huh? So she's pissed and she runs out there and the girl was rude to her when Tati finally did like get the opportunity to talk to the friend. And I didn't even catch this girl's name, but it was rude. She was like, so what? This is my friend. I've known him forever. If you've known him forever and you know this girl to be important to him, then why are you trying to sabotage his relationship? Why not say, listen, I come in peace. I want to get to know you. We gonna be kicking it together. Like, she gave her attitude. There was no respect. And in my opinion, with men, just in my little experience, if a man lets somebody else that is in his camp, or this is really with men and women, if you let someone disrespect your partner, and not just any partner, like the partner you love or someone you may marry, even if it's not someone you marry, but someone you're actively in love with and hope to marry, like your relationship not gonna go far. If you don't got each other, you don't really got nobody, and then you may as well be single. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, you should have checked your friend because Tati has a reason to be upset. This girl don't. And then in addition to that, you still lying to her, sir. So I was looking like, what the heck are you doing? So Tati gets mad and storms off and they separate the two. And then Clay went with his friend. He did not check on Tati. He did not follow after her. He did not give a single fuck about what went on with Tati. He went the other way and walked with a friend. And what pissed me off is after the friend saw that what was pissing the girl off was her touching on Clay, she then puts her arm in between his arm and locks in. And it wasn't just that. Then she puts her head on him and is rubbing him and leaning on him and all this crazy shit. And I'm like, well, maybe the bitch just don't know boundaries because she bends over all the time for $1. I don't know. Maybe it's that. But there are a lot of women in the sex industry who do understand boundaries and respect. So I can't even fully use that as an excuse for her. But what pissed me off further, James, is when this girl said to Clay, as soon as Tati held her accountable, she would not be a good mother figure for your daughter. Bitch, and you're a good godmother? You gonna teach the girl that she can use her punani to make some checks? And you're a good figure? Like, we shouldn't mistreat people for working in certain industries, but at the same time, we can also stand up and know that if we have the choice, I'm not going to be on camera fucking on people. I'd rather not. I just rather not. I'd rather be doing shady cryptocurrency with Jennifer Williams' husband. That's just how I feel. But, you know, I don't like how she gonna tell somebody else that they're not a good fit to be a parent. Are you a parent? Like, that's just a little much. And Clay just sat there and looked at her like an idiot. Like, I'm convinced that something is wrong with him. But we do learn that they've known each other since they were 7 or some shit like that. Before we talk about Clay going to talk to Tatiana, I just want to put a pin in it and get James's opinion on what we've discussed this far. How did you feel about it all?
I feel like Tati needs to go on Google, look up old girl's Rolodex, and see if Clay is in one of them videos. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying, like, Tati, you need to do some research and see if he in one of them videos, maybe on the OnlyFans or something. Just saying. Because something about the situation ain't right. And I felt her energy was off from the moment she walked in. It was kind of like almost, it almost makes me wonder if she, instead of being the godmama, if she's the baby mama. I don't know if you wonder that too, but like that's what I wonder.
Oop, I was muted. So sorry. I don't think she's the baby mama because he said that he had the baby with his ex-fiance. But I do feel like there's more to the story. What if his ex-fiance is the ex-fiance because of this raggedy ass friend?
That's what I'm saying. Something in the buttermilk ain't clean with her.
The way she
Like,
look at him, she
yeah,
doesn't look
it's like
at him
they
like a
crossed
friend.
boundaries before. I'm sorry.
They've done stuff together. They've done stuff. Hi, Shana. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Shana said even Clay's mama said he was wrong. He is. He is. I don't like him. He just big and dumb. I can't. It's just a bad combination to be. I'm sorry. It is. It is. But look, he even smiled like he just a little bit, like, he's a bit touched. That's all. That's it. But I don't like him. I'm not gonna say too many nice things. Shayna, I am the same way. I'm pissed off at the friend and I'm pissed off with Tati. And we gonna get into it because once a nigga make you look like a fool, publicly humiliate you, refuse to publicly defend you, and you still fix yourself to think you go give it a shot, hoping for the best. I was so mad at her. She could do so much better, but we gonna come to that. Irks my soul. It really does. So I lost where I was in my notes. Hold on. She said, I tried not to go in on Tati, but she lost me. I watched your recap and it made a lot of sense. It did make a lot of sense. I don't think you went in, you held her accountable though. Because I think in general, this is what they talk about, like with sisterhood with women in general. Like we need to uplift each other. And sometimes uplifting each other is holding each other accountable. Like, no, fuck that. You shouldn't have gave him nothing. You shouldn't have showed him you cared at all. She shouldn't have. He didn't deserve it. He just did not deserve it. But Clay finally goes to speak with Tatiana. And she is understandably pissed off. And it was the way that he told her. This is where she finally learns that he had a child during their relationship. And she's learning that he had a child in general. He randomly tells her, oh, yeah, I got a kid. And I'm like,
it was like, girl, I tell you, I was like, that's how you tell her? Oh, by the way, like you just bought a brand new couch or something. It was like so casual. It's like, that's life-changing, sir. Hello?
Shayna said we right, but she wanted to be a dummy. I hold my friends accountable.
Me too.
I will ask them straight up. James will tell you I'm blunt as hell. So you sure you want to marry this motherfucker? You sure you like this person? You sure you want to give them the dick? Like to all my friends, I be real blunt. So at least that they know that I saw something and I can help them escape when they get free of them. At the very least. But I don't.
I didn't think she was this silly. I really didn't. She didn't come off this way in the beginning. So she was a disappointment.
I think a piece of it is also the camera. She probably don't want to look too stupid on camera, and he's made her look pretty stupid.
You doesn't look like that anyway, so I don't understand. Why not just go ahead and go out with a bang?
Yeah, she is. We're gonna get into that. Look, Shayna has both of her feet on each side of her neck. But Shayna said, fuck that. I cannot. With Shayna, you guys also covers the show. The link to her channels, both of them is in the description of the video. Likely at the end of the season, I'll put together something with Shayna and me and James as we did last season. I might even ask some extra people in there just to mix it up because this season was wild. And we're only on episode 7. This shit was a lot. It was a lot. But this was terrible timing for him to tell her because if his best friend is there, we forgot through all of this that her mama was coming. And I know all the drama happened, but why did he invite his best friend and not his mom? He didn't have like an auntie, a cousin, a close brother, male friend that he could have invited. Like, what? Like, why? But her mom is here. That's weird, dude. That's weird.
Oh, you need to have better standards. If you listening to us, you need to have better standards when it comes to your cast members, because this doesn't make any sense when we're seeing people's parents versus people's friends that they may be having a benefit or two with. Like, I'm sorry, this needs to stop for ratings.
I agree, because it's getting a little out of hand. It's getting out of hand now. Tati's mama comes and she tells her mama what he did. And I was cracking up because her mom, she listened to a mouthful. That girl broke down. The way she broke down in her mama's arms, I wanted her to leave with her mama. I really did, but that didn't happen. Her mama, all she could say is, "Can I meet him?" I said, "Oh, I didn't know how to read it." I said, "She gonna go off or what's gonna happen?" And her mom's like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" And this bitch says she wants to sleep on it. What is there to sleep on? What is there to sleep on? How can you tell your mom that this person did all of that and then watch? Let's say she stays stupid and marries the man. Then she gonna wonder and be mad that her family don't like him. Like, Tati is showing all sorts of signs of just a lack of intelligence when it comes to like dating, discernment, all of that. Let me get the comments. I don't even know how to recap this, y'all. I'm doing the best I can because I really was.
It was
mad.
a tough episode to recap.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. You're doing a good job because I'm trying to keep up with you.
Child. She said we're being more mad about the hug. We need a reunion after all of this. A show like this, if Love is Blind can get a reunion, why the fuck can't this? This deserves a reunion because I would love to understand what's going on. And people like Charlie, I would love them to get them little cards out and read her what people really think of her because, girl, I can't. He knew exactly why he invited that friend and he did reality TV with his friend before. Ah, okay, Shana. Okay. I believe that. Especially with them being from Atlanta. Huh?
What show did he do before?
I would love to know.
Yeah.
Or what type of show?
Does anybody know? Like, comment it if you know, because I would love to see this just in general, because I need to see this.
He's not likable, he's not smart, and he's really not that attractive. So, you know, maybe his only way to find people is virtually or on these shows. I don't know. Something about him is off. And there's no way you can call yourself a good person if you can lie to that extent and gaslight. What do they call it? Love bomber, all of that. He did everything he shouldn't have done. She says some show nobody watches, but the streets found it. That friend was his ex on the show. I bet. The way she looked at him, they look at each other like they've seen each other naked. They look at each other like they know what each other's insides feel like. That friend, that she knew what she was doing. A few more kids.
Oh, wow.
Shana, don't tell me that.
For real, because now my whole mind about to change.
I'm pissed off with Tati now. I get it. Go watch Shana's recap, y'all. The link to her channels is in my description. I might have shared the video too. I can't keep up, y'all. I'm a pothead on the low. But I this frustrates me. I actually have a friend that's like this in real life. Like, she will know a nigga ain't shit, still deal with him, and then act sad and surprised when it go wrong. And it stresses me out. It really does. James tell me I need to let go of that person, but hey, you do what you can. It's a slow process. But
the snail's face.
You know what, James? Shut the fuck up and put your cigarette out. I'm too nice, y'all, in real life. I talk a lot of shit, but in real time, I'm actually nice. Too nice. That stresses me out, though. Look, Shayna's like, let her go. Y'all sound like my husband. My husband, next thing I know, he's going to be in the comments like, drop her. I wonder if he's
It's not necessarily you need to drop her. You just need to reevaluate where you need to put her. in your life. I feel like you have her in a place that she should not be a placeholder in. Like it's okay to be her friend and it's okay to have some cordiality with her, but like she ain't got to be extreme title BFF, reliable one you go to, is
Well,
what I'm
she's
saying.
not reliable.
But still, she holds a place similar to that in your life, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just too nice, y'all. I'll figure it out in time. I know my husband's somewhere probably happy as hell to be hearing these things. I can't stand y'all. Boundaries is important. Boundaries is very important. You know, it's good when you get into mental health, you could be good at giving other people advice and counseling other people. But when it comes to applying the shit to yourself, it's like the door is closed. I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to start trying to be more intentional with that. But I appreciate y'all. That's why I love y'all, all of y'all. Now, Jared and Charlie talk. And the only reason I'm commenting on it because the audacity of this pig to have anything to say, because Jared is the worst kind of dude. He's disgusting. He looks at women as objects. He mentions how he was married for 3 years, and he said he was a great husband. Fucking narcissistic bitch. But anywho, I digress. He says he was a great husband for all of 3 whole fucking years. And he says that to be a good husband, it was exhausting. Don't laugh, Josiah. I hear you. I hope it's not exhausting for my spouse to be a good husband to me. And if it is, we got to talk about some things. Like, it should be work. Marriage is not easy. Anyone who's been married, is married, knows that. But to feel exhausted?
It means you didn't get married for the right reason.
Yes, that means you're not with the person.
That means you're not with the right person.
Yeah.
And to me, I question once again. I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I don't believe he is straight. I do not believe it.
James,
and I'm not letting up on that. I'm not trying to out the man. I'm really not. Like, that's not my goal or anything. But I don't like men who play with women. I just don't. I don't like men who play with women's hearts, play with men's emotions. And the fact that you actually admitted that the reason why you left your marriage is because you got tired of being a good husband. Either you reveal what your ex-wife did, or you just played with her the entire time and made her feel like she had a good husband until you didn't want to try anymore.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard too. Yeah.
He married this one because, honestly, not to be too vulgar, it sounded like he married her because he didn't want to let go of the pussy and what came with her, honestly. And then once that may have become difficult or anything got remotely hard, he was like, yeah, I'm done with you and moved on. 3 years ain't shit also in marriage. And that's not just me saying that as someone who's been married a long time. I'm saying that because if you go to court and you try to divorce your spouse and you only 3 years in, you'll have several options of breaking away. It ain't always like that. That's all I'll say. But yeah, it didn't make any sense. He is a clown. And he said Jared, aka Jared and the Clap, aka K, are one and the same. They are.
They are.
They are. They're sneaky too, both of them. Like they act all calm, like they have it together, and they don't. They don't. All these babies popping up and shit. These niggas don't even know how to pull out correctly. They don't have nothing right. Charlie talked the most shit, and I'm ready to see her face crack. I want a reunion just so that she can get, because there's still a baby at home that ain't been on the planet for more than a month. That pisses me off. I am not a mom. I am not. And part of the reason I am not a mother is very intentional. I did my birth control and kept my legs closed as often as I could. Sure in the hell did. Very intentional. Because I feel like even if you're not rich, to me, it's not about money, but at least commit to be with the child every day. Like, what are you doing? I got friends who had babies when we was in high school, who was still with their babies all the time and still got their diplomas. And this bitch just ran off for some dick. I can't. I don't like Charlie James. I'm gonna move on. I'm not a nice
It wasn't
person.
even for a man that was promising. That's what's so that's what's so alarming about that. It's like I could see if the man was like a promised, like good man where you could bring him home to your kids because you know he gonna take care of them. It wasn't even that type of situation. It was literally for like a man who, after a certain time, just gets tired of trying. That's just crazy. So I don't know. She better than me.
1 second, y'all. Don't judge me. I did forget to clock out for work, but I'm doing it now. Y'all my witnesses. Let me see. And
Girl, speaking of work, I got to get ready soon here. So.
I know. Hell, like we do the same. We do what we can. I do work from home, y'all. So I'm doing the best I can.
Go, and then I got to go in early. So
he working overtime. I'm working unauthorized overtime. I'll fix my time punch. Moving on. Now that we done laughing at Jared and all of them. So Tatiana and Clay, this saga continues. They go and they talk, and Tati explains how it was fucked up what happened. And she says it was even more fucked up. And I agreed with her that he ran to check on his friend before her. She was not in his mind at all. He had to be told by the other men to go and talk to her. When you see a bunch of men who themselves are problematic in their own ways individually, when you see a bunch of men who don't themselves know how to be in relationships, telling this man, like, no, you got to go check on her. She found out from us. She probably embarrassed. She was told that, like, men don't do shit like that unless somebody like really is wrong. And I'm looking at Clay, like the fact that he had to be convinced by other people to do right by a woman that's done right by him. I would have been done with him. And I know she could hear it in that big ass mansion with not too much furniture. I know they echoing all up and through that bitch. So I feel like it was kind of pathetic to watch in some ways. It was hard. It was hard to watch, y'all. I can't lie. But Tati's solution to the problem, and this pissed me off because she shouldn't have done this, and she asked for Clay to call the friend. The friend answers, and the friend gets disrespectful and insults Tatiana, talking about she acts as if she's low budget and basically insulting her based on her income. I said, girl, I know you ain't calling nobody low budget, and you coming up in there with a weave with some leave out and it's thinning. Go get some more bundles. Talking to that girl. Don't make no sense. But Clay sat there and let his friend disrespect Tati. And my husband was laughing watching this because she was like, tell her. He had to literally be told what to tell his friend. And I'm like, you're not supposed to see the next bitch let you sweat, Tati, whether you stay or whether you go. You're not supposed to let the next bitch hear you saying things like that to him. I'm like, she must have really been mad because she was not thinking. But that's pretty much where that went. Now, I'm going to get James's opinion on that, and then we'll move on to Brittany and Ty's weird-ass date.
You know what? I don't have much to say because, like Shana, I'm disappointed. So we can move on. I'm going to reserve my opinion for next.
It's too much. It's too much. So Ty planned a second date for Britt. We are on episode 7, and he is just now planning another date for them. They went on a date in the first episode. But okay, Ty. The date is at his apartment in LA. He was affectionate and all those good things. But she makes a weird ass comment. So she was complaining about not getting enough affection from him and not getting to go on a date and things of that nature. Now he takes her on a date, and she says she would have preferred that he allow her to come to him as it relates to like the affection. And so I'm like, he was trying to do that in the beginning, because if we go back to episodes 1, 2, and 3, Brittany was very reserved. She had a wall up. And so in some ways, when she said that, it made me kind of look at it differently, because since then, he did step back. Now, he sort of stepped back in and still tried to build. But part of the reason he stepped back was because she did have that wall up. Now you want him to be more affectionate. He's trying and you're complaining about it. And then she also stated that their online connection is not the same in person. Me and my husband was like, it just seemed like she don't like him no more. I think she met him in person. There's no spark. He didn't pay her the attention that she wanted or needed. And so she don't like him no more. That's natural. But I don't understand why she didn't admit it. Maybe because he made her all them crab legs. Because I would have sat and ate that food too.
Me too.
That
We would just had to just look.
I'm
Put
looking
that
at her like,
conversation to the side for a little bit because y'all, I love me some crab legs.
and
So
when he poured the seasoned butter sauce over it, and it didn't look like them crab legs they be giving you that, the colorless make, where there's just the crab over some ice. No, he seasoned that. She need to keep a friendship for that reason.
I feel like, yeah, I don't think, and then also in actuality with the shit that's been revealed last time, and I just think that she's just done,
Mm-hmm.
and she don't know how to cut her ties because she's on this show. But it's like, well, girl, just hell, cut your losses and go. It is what it is. Like, why even, you know, continue even further with this? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you don't like him, then just tell him, hey, look, it's just not going to work anymore. And I hate that, it took us to be in this position to us to meet and figure it out. But I'd rather us figure it out now versus letting this linger any longer. It's just stupid.
Shana feel like she never liked them. She said the crab legs look good, but you would have taken my crab legs off. She said I would take them to go.
I feel like she did like him in the beginning. And I think it stopped when what was revealed was revealed.
I think that's fair. I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Can't see nothing against it.
I feel like when it was revealed what happened, I feel like she was done then. And she's holding on to save face because it would be, to some people, kind of like myself, very cold of her to let this relationship go based upon that. But at the end of the day, that's your prerogative. You have to do what you have to do because it's your life. You only get one to live. And if that's not something you can stomach or do, then I don't recommend you doing it or going any further.
Yeah,
but
I think that's an important point. More people, you date people based on what you like, not what you think the world will think of them with you. Like, you shouldn't be dating based on other people's opinions.
It's absolutely. But I hate to cut myself short, but I have to get ready to go to work. So thank you for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't stay the entire time, but I got called in early, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I will be reading the comments later. So I'll see you guys soon.
Have a good night.
And you too. Bye.
All right, y'all. He getting married, so he working overtime. He working a lot of overtime. He working overtime like a Tesla employee. My husband used to work at Tesla. They do a minimum of 12 hours for every shift. It's the minimum. And then they'll add overtime to that. Like, whoa. He was tired for like 8 years. True story. But Tatiana and Clay do end up going to meet with Dr. Allie. This pissed me off. And I think Dr. Allie saw they were full of it. So they didn't discuss the issue. They go to meet with Dr. Allie and nothing that they needed to discuss was discussed. She kept bringing up the fact that his friend jumped on him. She was so mad at that. She was so blinded by that through anger that she did not bring up the fact that he also dropped on her with no type of decorum. The fact that he has a child that he had while in the relationship with them. They didn't talk about that. You would think in front of a counselor, that's what you would want to talk about, but they didn't. She seems done, but we know that she's not because of the craziness that happens. But before we get to all that craziness, Alexis and her thinning wig, and Chris, who personally, James thinks Jarrett's in the closet. I feel like Chris is. That's just a personal opinion. He's either in the closet or he is so turned off by this woman that he could never think to even touch her. But her friend of 6 years named Manya came in with a questionable wig. What is going on with these people they find it in New York for this show? Last season, the girl with the faux locks who was crazy as hell came on this show with her faux locks looking a fucking mess and acting a fool. Then they find Alexis, who's a cougar. Her hair looked toe up. Then her friend came from New York, her hair toe up. I said, what's going on? It's okay to go natural. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying. But things go well with the friend. Now, why did Chris's cousin say to Alexis when he met her, you look like a cougar? Sean too. Oh, Shana agrees with me. She would think Chris before Jarrett too. I don't see, James dates men, so I'm like, I don't see it with Jarrett. but maybe he sees something that we don't see from our perspective of how we date. But Jared doesn't give me gay. He gives me sneaky. He might like some freaky shit in the bedroom, but I can't see him doing nothing with the man. That's just my opinion, but James feel different, y'all. But they split up, and I actually liked how Chris and Alexis did this. She met with his cousin Shantu, and Chris met with her friend Manya. It was weird because Chris tells Manya that he wants Alexis to focus on fitness more. And I'm like, you've been complaining this whole season about Alexis not submitting to you enough and always wanting to take charge and being too aggressive, not consulting with her man first. And now when you talk to her friend, you say she needs to focus on fitness. Number one, I don't like Alexis' hairstyle, but she's not like huge to me. She's not like morbidly obese or unattractive. I don't see her stomach before I see her face, if that makes sense. So that was a weird thing to say to the friend. It didn't make sense. But then Chris's cousin Shantu told Alexis that her mouth is a problem. He essentially told her to watch her mouth. I said, wait, why is the friend saying what Chris should have said? I don't understand it. Alexis is from Philly, and that's where she needs to take that wig back to. Oh, she's Philly. I'm thinking of the girl from last season. Oh Lord, I'll take that wig back. I can't. Well, that explains her personality a little bit. Just a little bit. Chris is just saying stuff because he can't stand her. He can't. And I'm like, does OWN have them locked into a contract to where they don't get paid if they leave early or something? Because that's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. Because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But I think based on Shana's comments, y'all, we can agree, like, he don't like her. And she don't see it because she's so busy being messy and gossiping. She's the messy auntie that she can't see it. But I do like Alexis individually and Chris individually. I do think he in the closet, but he still seemed cool. But I just, together, it doesn't mesh. And they look like father, mother, and son. The shit would never work. So last thing we see is the drama with Clay Bossy and them continues on because they're all at the table and chilling, and Tatiana's still giving him the cold shoulder. She don't want him to touch her, nothing. But she's still in the house and around them, and they hadn't officially broken up. So Clay gets fed up with one final, like, scolding from Tati and gets up, and he's just like, I just want to leave. You know, this is giving me anxiety. This is worse than my deployment. Nobody feels sorry for you. You made this entire situation for yourself, Clay. You literally did that. You got with a woman, made her think she was the only woman. You finally got the opportunity to meet her, but before you could meet her, you was cheating on her with your ex-fiance and made a baby. Make it make sense. I don't understand. You keep that from this woman, make a fool of her on national television, hide the fact that you have a best friend who is a porn star and also your ex. You've been on other shows before. Apparently you hiding other kids. And you think we give a damn about how you feel through any of it. That's wild. That's wild to me. That makes zero sense to me. Kind of like the people defending Diddy. Like, regardless of what's going on with that case, like, the shit he did is ridiculous. Like, how can you defend certain things? So I don't understand Clay. He has zero accountability, but I'm not surprised. When he carried that lie past episode 3, I said, oh, this is not an honest person. He will never tell the truth. I was surprised he even told her. But he tried to leave the house. The men tried to stop him. This time it didn't work. What was funny is Tatiana sat up there and tried to make it seem like, I'm giving you a shot. That's why I'm still here. You just want, I'm like, girl, you shouldn't have to be begging for this man to allow you to be angry when he had you fucked up. That's when you put them out the house. That don't make no sense. Or you leave the house. Something. But you separate from them. So Clay demands leaving, and he dumped Tati, which was funny. He's the one that broke up with her. He played a game, and she ended up going home as well, but she made a fool of herself. I wish she would have just said to her mom, can I please go home with you? Like, I wish she would have just said that. to her mom. I didn't understand why she did all of that. How are you gonna scold someone and not allow them to touch you? But then she could have dumped him. She fucked that up, y'all. Chris is just saying stuff because he can't stand her. Yes, I went over that comment. But yeah, I don't know. Clay and Tati, I'm kind of glad it all came out, but I'm very disappointed in her. This is not how any person should behave in a relationship, whether you a woman with a woman, man with a man, or anything else. It should never go that way. There should be mutual respect, but before you can have mutual respect, you have to respect yourself. I don't think Tati respects herself. I just don't. If there was like a history of them like dating in person for years or something, like if they had lived together, I might understand her response. I wouldn't agree with it, but I might understand it a little bit more. But you never met him. You never met him, and it wasn't for too long. So I'm just looking at her like Shana pretty much said it. Like she played herself. He showed her signs. She had every red flag in the book. She had to have noticed people chuckling and whispering and talking about her. Like, I don't understand how she did not do that. It should have never been up to him to even give him the power after all of that made no sense. And I know James gonna laugh at me for saying this, but I hope somebody drags Charlie's bitch ass in Texas. I hate bitches like her because she smiled in Tati's face, but was laughing at her behind her back. And with every other woman that went through something, I'm glad it's not me. I can't wait for Charlie to find out that Jared don't want to be with her and is just trying to get the coochie. I can't wait. I can't. But that was it for this week, you guys, of the Never Ever Met. I appreciate everybody for watching, whether you're watching now or our live replay. Feel free to comment your opinions, even if they're different from ours. We're always in the comments. Check the links in the description. Shana covers Never Ever Mets as well. There's a link to her channel. I enjoy her recaps. I actually watch them, so y'all should too. And there's also a link to James's channel. We will be back live again tomorrow on James's channel. I believe he will be doing Somebody's Son. Do not quote me because his schedule's crazy right now. But we'll be back on his channel next. I do have music reactions dropping. But other than that, I appreciate all of you guys, and I hope everybody has a good day. Adios.